Hey everybody, welcome back to Winnemac Hockey, where today we are starting a new series cleverly named NHL Team of the Week. My name is Dom DeBomb, and I am joined by Jake the Snake Armstrong and Matt the Brat Cleveland, and we each have a team that we think performed the best this past week in the National Hockey League. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing for more NHL content and some of our street hockey content. Let's get into the video. All right, everybody, so let's get started. Jake, I want to come to you first. The league has been full of goal scoring, goaltenders playing like gods, but who do you got for Team of the Week and why?
So my Team of the Week scored 3 touchdowns this week. It's the Colorado Avalanche. Like I said, they put up 21 goals in 3 games. Monday, 7-5 win versus the Flyers. Wednesday, 7-3 win versus the Rangers, and Friday, 7-3 win versus the Red Wings. And they're doing this, for the most part, without McKinnon. Out of those 21 goals, McKinnon had 3 points, 2 goals and 1 assist, which is still point per game. But 21 goals, that's all depth scoring, and that's great to see for them.
Absolutely. That is incredible, and that is going to be an argument that's going to be hard to beat. But with that, Matt, let's come over to you. Do you have anyone that can top the Avalanche?
Well, I don't know about top them, but I do have a team who they really needed to have a great week to stay in contention there in the Metro, and I thought they did. It's the Carolina Hurricanes this week. They went 3-0 in wins over the Oilers, Flames, and Jets this week, scoring 9 goals in those 3 games, which isn't bad. And, I mean, like I said, they have to keep pace in the Metro, and staying 3-0 like that kept them second in the division, tied there with the Rangers, just 1 point back of Washington. And they did that also against 3 teams that are all in playoff spots, or at least tied for a playoff spot there in the Western Conference. So the fact that they were able to do that against 3 competitive teams, I think, showed they had a pretty impressive week.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm glad you mentioned it. The competition that they had to go 3-0, that's pretty impressive. Jake, what do you think about the Carolina Hurricanes? Solid pick?
So here's the thing about the Hurricanes. They are a way different team than the Avalanche. If you look at the Avalanche, even though they were winning those games, they still gave up 5 goals in a game and 3 in each of the other 2. So the Hurricanes are going to play a much better defensive system. So during the regular season, the Avs putting up touchdowns every game, sure, perfect. But as soon as they get matched against a team like the Hurricanes in the playoffs, it's going to be a much more defensive game, and they might struggle. So it's either going to be Carolina struggles to shut down that offense, or the Avalanche struggle to break through that Carolina defense. So that's something that, which side's going to come through more clutch in the playoffs, we'll have to see.
And one thing I want to hop in here on, in those 3 games, they gave up 1 goal, and 2 goals. So, yeah, to go along with your defensive strategy there, 100%.
Yeah, and the goaltending to be as solid as it has been after losing 3 of them in the offseason and having to bring in new guys. Not too shabby over there in Carolina.
Meanwhile, the Avs lost Grubauer and brought in Kemper, who should have been a pretty smooth transition, but it hasn't really turned out so far.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, speaking of goaltending, my team has been doing very well because of the goaltending situation. With Tristan Jarry, I have the Pittsburgh Penguins. So, Matt, I'm in the Metro with you as well. They went 3-0 this week, and they started with a dominant win over the Seattle Kraken, 6-1. The offense was absolutely exploding. Crosby and Gensel led the charge there. Then they go to play their rival, the Washington Capitals, who are dominating in the league so far this year. They come out of that 4-2, and then they're able to pull off a 1-0 victory over the Anaheim Ducks, who have been playing pretty well as of late and surprising many people there. And they did that while resting Tristan Jarry. So the goaltending there in Pittsburgh has been stellar. The offense has been doing what they need to do to get done, and their defense has also been playing pretty solid. So maybe a little bit of a shock to some people, but the Penguins are playing very well under the radar right now. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, like I said with the Avalanche and McKinnon not being that scoring, that could also be a problem. So for you to mention that Crosby is leading the charge in Pittsburgh, you want to have your stars going. So that's great for them.
Yeah, and I would say as well, especially after the disappointing style season that they had last year, to come back on strong and have weeks like this where they're able to put up goals, where they're able to string together wins here is important for this, for them to keep pace there. Because the Metro is going to be a tough division, and if they're going to want any chance of making the playoffs this year, they're going to want weeks like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So there we have it, guys. Jake has the Colorado Avalanche, who are putting up touchdowns game in and game out. Matt has the Carolina Hurricanes, and I have the Pittsburgh Penguins. So that's who we got for this week with our teams of the week. We'll see you next time on Winamac Hockey.